story, Jesus taught two disciples. Two of Jesus' disciples were on their way to a village called Emmaus. They were talking about everything that happened in Jerusalem when Jesus had been crucified. As they were talking, Jesus himself began to walk with them. At this time, the two men did not recognize him. Jesus asked the men what they were talking about. Haven't you heard what happened to these last few days? One of the men asked Jesus.
Jesus replies, what things? So the two men shared all that happened. They explained that Jesus, a prophet, and who spoke many things about God, and it had been handed over by their chief priest to be cuffed, crucified. The men had hope that Jesus was one who was sent to save Israel. Then the men shared that this was not the end of the story. They explained how 3 days after Jesus has died, women from their group arrived early at the tomb where Jesus has been buried, but Jesus' body was not there. Instead, the women saw angels who told them Jesus was alive.
Jesus listened intently to the disciples' story, and then he said, "Didn't the scriptures say that the Messiah would have to suffer before entering into his glory?" Then Jesus taught the men everything the scriptures that was written about him. When they came near the village, the men invited Jesus to stay. Bread blessed it and gave it to them, the men. When they saw this the moment the disciples immediately realized that the man was Jesus. At the moment, Jesus disappeared from their sight. The two disciples were amazed. They talked about how their hearts felt like they were on fire when Jesus explained the scriptures to them.
That very hour, the men got up and returned to Jerusalem. They found Jesus' 11 disciples and shared all that had happened on the road with Jesus. The men exclaimed, "The Lord has certainly been risen from the dead, and he appeared to us this day." Luke 24:13-35. Here are the questions. Where were the two disciples going? The answer is to the village of Emmaus.
What were the two men talking about? Everything that had happened in Jerusalem when Jesus had been crucified.
What did Jesus teach the two disciples? Everything in scriptures that was written about him.
What did Jesus do at the table? Here's the answer. He took bread, blessed it, and gave it to the men. What had happened when the disciples
realize the man was Jesus? The answer is Jesus had disappeared from their sight.
What did the two men do after Jesus disappeared? Here's the answer. They went back to Jerusalem and found the 11 disciples and shared everything that had happened. Thanks for joining us.